Yes, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel and welcome along to the latest instalment of the Clarets Daily News here on Saturday, the 24th of May. A nice, relaxed day for teams that are already in the Premier League. And we can watch the playoff final later, or you lot can. I'll be at work. Don't worry, I'll be able to find a way to watch it at work. Relaxed and just looking like, who's going to join us? Is it Sunderland? Is it Sheffield United? So, also, obviously, elephant in the room. Obviously, I said I wouldn't do these on Saturdays, but I obviously didn't do it yesterday, did I? On Friday. To be honest with you, life and work just got in the way, so I didn't really get a chance. So, just before I go back to work, now I thought I'd quickly jump on and just talk about all the stuff that I missed yesterday, maybe anything that I've seen this morning, which, to be fair, I'm recording it at 10:30 on Saturday morning. I've seen absolutely nothing, nada, and zilts. But obviously, yesterday, the main news was that Jaidon Anthony, the club have confirmed that he joins Burnley in a permanent deal. I mean, it's another one, just like the one that they announced the other day, that we already knew. Number one, because it's a contractual obligation, and number two, because it was in the released and / retained list the other day. But the club are going through these deals where they're now announcing them. Whether it's for clicks or for views, I'm not sure. It's probably more so, it's probably a bit of that, to be fair, but it's probably more so to just give more information about the deal, because we didn't know he was going to sign a 4-year deal, and now that we do know that Jaidon Anthony has joined Burnley on a 4-year deal. But anyway, the headline on the club website says Anthony joins Clarets in permanent deal. Forward puts pen to paper on long-term deal at Turf Moor. They want to say Burnley Football Club are delighted to confirm the permanent signing of Jaidon Anthony, who joins the club on a 4-year deal from AFC Bournemouth upon completion of his loan. Anthony was an integral figure in Scott Parker's side last season, chipping in with 8 goals and 7 assists, and the forward will now join the Clarets permanently after a successful season-long loan spell at Turf Moor. He goes on to say, this is Anthony's direct quotes, "It's been very good. I've really enjoyed this season on and off the pitch, and it's brought my smile back for sure. I've really enjoyed playing again and getting so many minutes under my belt and contributing with goals and assists for the team. Time for a bit of downtime now. Then we're back for pre-season, and that's when the hard work begins. Let's do it." Well, let's do it indeed, Jaidon. Obviously, difficult season next season for Burnley in the Premier League, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's good to see that the club have learned from their mistakes and not tying these loan players down, because obviously I've said it already, but I'll say it again. Teller, Martson, Howard Bellis, all left. We lost the core of the squad. We're going up now with pretty much the same squad. Yes, we may lose CJ Egan-Riley. Again, we're still waiting on confirmation of that. We could lose Josh Brownhill, although there's been a massive hint that Josh Brownhill will be staying. We'll get into that in a minute. And Ashley Barnes as well, who, may not play too much next season, didn't really play much last season, but he's probably quite a big part of that dressing room. But yeah, I know Anthony can split opinions sometimes, and he's a little bit Marmite for someone, or Chris, who comes on the full-time show, isn't necessarily his biggest fan, and I know some of you guys aren't as well, but I think when you look at his output from the season just gone, you can only play what's put in front of you. I do see the argument that he might struggle against better fullbacks and better defenders, but it's good to get Jaidon Anthony signed down. It's good to get him signed down to a long-term deal as well, and I'm happy that he's here. Next up, it's the Josh Brownhill contract situation. Now, there's been a lot of people sort of like over the last few weeks sort of like saying he's already said his goodbyes, he's gone. I hadn't heard anything of that, so I never went with it. And now there's a lot of people that are sort of changing their mind and now saying, well, no, he's actually staying, he's signed the deal, but as I've said a million times, I never pretend to be ITK, but every now and then, I do get little snippets. But I've heard recently that he hasn't said his goodbyes, and that was, of course, a lot of BS. And I've seen something somewhere. This isn't me being ITK or anything, but I've seen something. In fact, one guy commented it on one of the videos a couple of days ago, that there's a guy who's quite well in the know on Clarets Mad. And again, I've said before, this is always just hearsay, and I will talk about hearsay and things in this as well. It's not just confirmed news and stuff from the Mirror and the Daily Express. I will talk about hearsay, and this is very much hearsay. But there's a guy on Clarets Mad. I don't really use it that much myself, just really after matches to see what everyone's saying on there, who gets stuff right a lot. And he's recently said that it's done. It's sorted, and he will be staying. And I've seen a lot of people then diving on it on Twitter. As soon as he said it, then you get all the cryptic tweets of people who like to pretend that they know what they're on about. You know, eye emoji, tick, as if say like, oh, yeah, you've read it on Clarets Mad, mate. I'm not silly. But that's better than all the rumours that were coming out earlier. So don't shoot the messenger. However, there's been a massive hint from Josh Brownhill himself. And you may have seen it. I tweeted it yesterday. This is from the Burnley.co.uk not Twitter account, YouTube channel. They obviously got access to the town hall, so they were able to film some videos. Now, I'm not sure if the video came out straight away, but I only saw it yesterday. Somebody sent it me, to be honest. Shout out to Tom, sent it me yesterday. And yeah, Josh Brownhill gives a massive hint about that he's probably going to be staying in this video. Listen.
Run down. Are you going to sign on?
That's what I'm hoping for. I say if anybody can message Alan and get it sorted quicker rather than later, that'll be better.
Right. Alan Pace, get him signed up. Sign up, Josh.
I'm sorry, but if he was leaving or if he was looking to leave, there's no way you'd say that. There's absolutely no way you'd say that. And me, Gary and Andrew on one of the full-time shows recently were discussing it. And do you remember when he did that interview with Sky Sports where Ashley Barnes asked him, yeah, what's going on with the contract situation? And they all just laughed. Again, that was a massive pointer to me that it was already done or was about to be done. I think we keep Josh. I'm 95% confident now that we keep Josh. And that's, again, not hearing anything or anything like that. That's just going off that video and the previous video. Look at CJ Egan-Riley, for example. He's not asked. He's not been asked. Well, he's probably been asked, but he's not answered any questions on it. There's no clips of him saying things like that. There's no clips of him laughing. He's just keeping his head down and probably going, I would imagine. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'm wrong on that. Whereas Josh, he's always answered the questions. He's always dropped massive hints that he wants to stay or he's laughed about it. You know what I mean? Like Josh, again, he's another one that seems to split opinion despite him having a fantastic season. But Josh gets the club. He gets the fans. I think he likes it here. I think he likes the town because obviously he does a lot of stuff in the community as well. He wouldn't be on camera laughing if somebody asked him about whether he was staying or not if he was about to leave. He doesn't seem like that type of lad. It seems like he's got his head screwed on. I went on his Instagram yesterday and he's loving life out in, I think it was Singapore as well. So it must be all right for some, but hopefully we get some news soon around the Josh Brownhill contract situation, because I'm pretty certain looking at that and some of the other stuff that I've just mentioned that he will be staying. However, and this isn't bad news as such, there are still rumours from certain news outlets that he may or may not be staying. As always, this is a Turkish website, so find the biggest pinch of salt you've ever seen in your life and take that. But according to Gwen Bakis, they say Trabzonspor hasn't given up on transferring that name yet. Obviously, this is a translation, so the translation will be very loose. And it goes on to say, Trabzonspor has not given up on Josh Brownhill in the transfer. Midfielder Josh Brownhill, who Trabzonspor was interested during the summer transfer period but could not get a positive result, has been on the agenda again in recent months. The Claret and Blue team has not given up on Josh Brownhill. That's, of course, referring to Trabzonspor, not Burnley, who also played Claret and Blue. But, yeah, it's Turkish outlet. And as the article, in fairness, does say, he was linked to Trabzonspor last summer. So, potentially, it's a lazy link there. I'm not exactly sure on that one. But there's another one here as well from Photosport. According to Photosport, another Turkish website. So, keep that biggest grain of salt you've ever seen and keep it with you. They said Besiktas have contacted the manager of Burnley captain Josh Brownhill, his agent. Terms will be discussed for the 29-year-old midfielder who will be released at the end of the season. Will he? That's the thing. And they go on to say championship side Burnley have secured the promotion to the Premier League. Captain Josh Brownhill is responsible. I love that. Captain Josh Brownhill, bold letters, is responsible for this success. Didn't realise I were up there. There you go. I'll bring myself back down there. Is it? He's a big factor in it, don't get me wrong. But it's a team game. The 29-year-old central midfielder scored 18 goals and made 6 assists in 42 appearances. His contract with the club ends on June the 30th. And then they've got one of the old pictures of Josh before he became more streamlined and became the streamlined Josh that we all know and love today. But, yeah, Turkish media I don't necessarily. I don't think he goes to Turkey at all. Like I said, cards on the table. I think he stays. I think we're at the stage now where he stays at the football club. But again, we'll see. As always, though, take it with a pinch of salt, the Turkish stuff. Like I said, I always just like to give a full picture. So some people might be going, why is he bringing that in? It's obviously a load of rubbish. I'm just giving you the full picture, everybody. Just trying to let you know everything. But you've seen it from Josh's mouth himself that he wants to stay. I would imagine that Alan Pace wants to keep him. There was probably a bit of a money issue or something at some point. I'm not exactly sure as to why it's taken so long. But looking at that interview from Josh Brownhill, despite all the Turkish media stuff, I'm pretty confident he stays. Right, and final one from me, and it's James Trafford. Don't worry, he's not gone to Newcastle yet. But he is, of course, in the England squad, and not the under-21s or the under-22s or the young Lions, but the full senior men's England squad. England will be playing some games. I think it's early June. I used to love following England. I went around Europe watching them. I don't do it so much anymore. Ever since my little lad were born, don't really follow them as much. But I think they're playing in early June against, and well, it says who they're playing on there, to be fair. Andorra and Senegal. It's a good job I just saw that. And the squad was announced yesterday on the Friday. Thomas Tuchel, obviously now the England manager, has selected James Trafford for his senior men's England squad. James Trafford is in there alongside Jordan Pickford and FA Cup hero Dean Henderson. And when I say FA Cup hero, I mean FA Cup cheat. Dean, I still can't get over the fact that he wasn't sent off for that handball. Dean Henderson. So just while we're here, the full England squad is obviously Henderson, Pickford, Trafford. Hopefully we see Trafford get some minutes just before he's shipped off to Newcastle. If he is, obviously anything we see, we'll bring it on here. 5 million if he plays a few minutes for England. But then there's Alexander-Arnold, Burn, Chalobah, Colwill, James, Konza, Lewis Skelett and Walker in midfield. You've got Bellingham, Gallagher, Gibbs-White, Henderson, Jordan Henderson in 2025. I've only just noticed that. Jones, Palmer, Rice and Rodgers. Then up front you've got Eze, Gordon, Kane, Madueke, Saka, Tone and Watkins. So, yeah, I know it's a Clarets Daily News, but I just thought I'd mention that then because James Trafford is England squad. And that's obviously the bit that we're focusing on. But, yeah, shout out to Traff. I think he's been called up before, hasn't he? Yeah. But he didn't get any minutes. Fingers crossed he gets some minutes this time. Even if he does go to Newcastle in the summer, I feel like we've kind of gone full circle with Traff now. He's still not unblocked me on Instagram, though. But, you know, he's had a really, really good season and everybody pretty much loves him again now. I don't think too many people are worried about how he'll fare in the Premier League now after he was so good this season. Obviously, the Premier League is a different kettle of fish. I know it is. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. It will be tougher for him. But I think when you play in a Scott Parker team where you're not getting peppered with 50 shots a game, you're going to do better as a goalkeeper. And it's not just that. He's come on so much in the last year as well. And he fully deserves the England call-up. For me, he was the best goalkeeper in the Championship by a country mile. It wasn't even a debate by the end of the season. And I do feel like when Jordan Henderson decides that he doesn't want to play for England anymore, James Trafford will be the number one. Henderson might get a few games here and there, but I actually think that Trafford's probably pushing Henderson now. I think he's that good. Man, you've never really rated Henderson too much, to be honest with you. I quite like Johnston, who's not in the team. Sam Johnson. I think he's a decent goalkeeper. But anyway, yeah, hopefully we see Trafford get some minutes and, it pushes his price up ahead of his trip to Newcastle. But like I said, that was the last one. So that's it from me on today's Clarets Daily News. Hopefully back on Monday. I don't think I'm working on Monday. I'll just very quickly check my diary. I am working today, as in Saturday and Sunday. No, it's bank holiday on Monday, isn't it? So I'm off, which means if I was working, I could have got double time. But anyway. Yeah, let me know what you think about the stories below. Confident of Josh Brownhill staying? Like me, I'm pretty confident. I think he'll stay. You don't go around saying stuff like that in interviews if you're about to leave. Buzzing for Trafford, I'm buzzing for him, despite everything and obviously the criticisms that I gave him last season. I think he's come on leaps and bounds this season, and he really does deserve to be in that England squad. And let me know about Jaidon Anthony. Happy? Marmot? I think it's good that he's here, and a 4-year deal again shows the club are learning from the mistakes from previous seasons. And I'll see you on Monday.